Morning, Steve.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Welcome to the Cul-de-Sac.
Thank you.
Wow, brilliant bike.
Oh, thank you very
A
much.
Velocette finally made it to the cul-de-sac.
Yes, Velocette on the cul-de-sac. Hi, my name is Steve, and I'd like to show you my Velocette MAC 350 motorcycle. I've had this for quite some time. I actually inherited it from my father, and I thought I would talk more about the company first. Velocette started making motorcycles, whole motorcycles, their own, in about 1905. At that time they were called Velos or Velos. They then started making small two-strokes, and they changed the name to Velocette. That became very popular. Around 1924, they decided to start making a overhead cam four-stroke model, the Model K. And at first, they started to go back to Velos or Velos, but found that that wasn't very popular with buyers, and so they quickly changed it back to Velocette. It was a family concern, and they prided themselves on good engineering, and people would say that Velocettes should be owned by engineers because they're complex. If you look at the gear train inside the timing chest here, it's like a watch almost, you know, it's very fine gears. Velocettes did have some innovations. Velocettes were the first bike with a positive stop gear change, which is something you find on almost any motorcycle today. Before that, you would have a hand shifter and a gate, and it would stop at a certain place. With a positive stop, as you shift up, it stops at each gear. Okay. And then you have to let off and then shift again to get to the next gear. So it won't just go through 3 or 4 gears. This model is a MAC. It's one of the M series, which started in around 1933. First MAC was probably about 1934. They made MACs right up until the early 1960s. The MAC was kind of the everyman's motorcycle. It wasn't the expensive bike like the K models and the KSSs and KTTs or Venoms or Thruxtons. Those have quite a bit more compression, so yes, you do have to have a drill. This starts quite a bit easier. I don't have to worry about exactly where to place the piston to get it to start. It just, you can almost kick it over like a Japanese bike. This particular bike is a 1952, or at least it's registered as a 1952. It was really built out of parts that my father got from Lou Branch in Los Angeles, who was the West Coast distributor for Velocettes back in the 1950s. And he just collected different parts and put it all together. And so it's not exactly accurate for a 1952, but it's quite close. To be correct, it should not have a girder fork. This fork, I'm not really sure what it is from. Many people have told me it's from an Ariel, although the 2 others that I've seen identical to it were both on 1939 Triumph Speed Twins. I tend to believe that's what the fork is from. My father was a motorcycle buff back in the 50s. In fact, he raced quite a bit in the Los Angeles and Southern California area, and he got involved with British bikes, but particularly with Velocettes. And he built this from scratch. Unfortunately, he passed in 1967. My mother then gave me the bike when I was 16 years old, and I've had it ever since. So I've kept it all these years and ridden it every year just to keep it going. And, you know, it was a little scuffed up and a bit rough. About 7 years ago, I decided that it was time to do it upright and restore it. So I had most of the tins painted, the frame and a few other pieces, the forks, I had powder coated black. This stripe I had painted by a pinstriper locally here, and I was going to use a transfer right here for the Velocette name, and he said, well, I can paint that on, and he did, and I thought it came out quite well. Also at the time, the rims were starting to get a bit rusty, so I decided, since I liked aluminum rims and it's my bike and it deserved it, I sent them to Buchanan's and got the Borani rims. Italian rims on an English bike A little bit of blasphemy, but I don't care. It's what I liked, so that's why I did it. And I replaced a few of the chrome pieces that needed replacing. I had the mag rebuilt by Ed Gilkison, who's up in Lake Bay, Washington. I recently had the dynamo or generator rebuilt, although it's not connected at the moment. The battery's actually empty. It's a rubber battery, but I'm going to put a small 6-volt in it. I had the seat redone by actually someone who does horse saddles. So it's not quite right, but it looks pretty good. The fishtail's been around since the 30s. It's an unmistakable piece on most every Velocette. Thing is, for a 52, I believe, was the one year they didn't come with a fishtail. So, but I wasn't going to have it. It had a fishtail on it when I got it. It's always going to have a fishtail. Yeah. It's quite quiet, really. You know, the bike handles quite well. I was surprised. It really does. I love the girders. It's funny though, you know, for the first 30 years, I think, I didn't realize that the pivots here were locked up. And I'd ride the bike. I'd look at the front wheel and it'd be going in and out. Not up or down. It would be going in and out as I was hitting bumps. And I thought, well, that's just how it is. And no, when I went ahead and restored, I took it all apart and lubed everything and put it all back together, adjusted it properly, and now it's so much better. I'm a member of the North American Velocette Owners Club. They hold a rally every year that's about 1,000 miles, and I went on it last year. I took 2 of my other Velocettes and rode them for 3 of the days, broke each day. Although the last day that I rode, I did finish the day, even though I hurt the motor on my Thruxton.
That's what rallies are for.
I guess so, yes. So I have to get to that this summer, hopefully. The reason I love Velocettes is really just because my dad was into them, and I got this and I thought, well, I should carry on with the way he was going, and I've always loved them. Most people don't know what they are, here in America anyway. They were competition for the Nortons. Mostly people know what a Triumph or a BSA or a Norton is. They don't know what a Velocette is. They'll often ask me if it's French or Italian, and I say no, it's English. But it's a fine bike, I think. This bike, I've had it, 52 odd years now, and it always starts. It always runs. I've done nothing to the engine, nothing in all those years. Wow. I didn't have to do anything when I restored it. It works. Clearly, I do love the bike. I'll never sell it. I've had it all these years, and it started my love for Velocettes. And every time I see one, I think, oh, maybe I should buy another. But I'll always have it. I hope to leave it to one of my family members, but right now, none of them ride motorcycles. So that's a dilemma for me, because it's a little bit of an albatross around your neck if you don't love it. And I do.
Thanks a lot, Steve, for coming over. Really appreciate it. That was great fun. Thanks a lot, Steve. Thank you. See you again soon.
All right. Gotta tickle it.
Gotta tickle.
I think I'm still in here.
Thanks very much for watching, guys. This has been another tale from the Cul-de-Sac. Please remember to subscribe and click the little bell and you'll get a notice whenever I release a new video, usually every Sunday morning and sometimes during the week.